Brethren. At this point, I'm blessed. I'm blessed with the gift of men. The caliber of people where they come this my show. Too much.
That's the greatest blessing, you know.
Yes, boss.
The gift of men.
Yes, boss. Every other thing fits out, you know. We thank God. And, you know, it's also a gift that God just put you in the circle of people that, from even when they were small, that circle of people that will be big. Do you understand? Circle of people that will become something. You know,
I feel
circle of quality people, you know. Everybody's quality, but yeah, you feel me. Anyways, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, so.
On the EmmaOMG show. I don't know what to call it.
For now, they call them the OMG podcast. So
now OMG shall get them. Now it's in water pass for that.
So we have a custom here, which maybe I'll just still change because it's now becoming ridiculous. So the custom is whoever we have is going to be the one to introduce themselves. Imagine me telling you to introduce yourself. That's so disrespectful, but no verse.
No, it's
Help
not.
us introduce yourself.
I don't know. I don't know about disrespectful, but it's all good. Hi. My name is Gaze Baba. I'm an artist and cultural architect. Simple and short.
The guy, they think say the guy na one fine, available boy. Baba, she married.
Yeah, she married.
But bro, you are a prophet, man.
I have a family of 5.
You are a prophet, man. And you got there. Come on.
Yeah, our words don't fall to the ground.
Yeah.
But like
basically,
our Father
everything
God,
you said in that song is
coming
coming to reality. That's why I say it's
coming
coming to reality. You didn't travel, no. Link.
10 plus, laugh, call it.
You're already on the path.
You get exactly.
Man, I need to go and do a prophetic song, man. Yeah. So how you be now? How you be?
I'm fine. I'm good. I mean, I'm grateful. I thank God for the journey, and I'm super grateful for the journey.
And I'm excited about these episodes. Everybody should just sit back because Gaze's story is actually very interesting. I'll just get right to it. Let's just start from the scratch. So first time ever I saw you.
Gaze Baba.
Thank you.
Gaze Baba. You were very over important.
First time I ever saw you was Covenant University. You didn't go to our school. Don't worry. You know, Koleto, yeah. Now, which school you going? But they don't feel you have your school. Jesus.
Tremor, Mondro, my solo.
They would be like,
my solo.
Your school be like portable. Nobody can win portable. Nobody can win. So, respect. Oh, here you are.
Great.
Respect.
Oh, you better try. You better. We're going to roll at lively here.
So, but my point, first time ever I saw you, Covenant University, I was in school then, you came to perform one of our shows, and I didn't know you were not a CU boy.
Which of them? Which of the times?
I can't remember.
I probably came like 3 times.
But I think this was the very first time. That was the first time I saw you.
Was it Can You, or was it Week of Spiritual Emphasis?
A pastor brought you up.
Week of Spiritual Emphasis, Pastor Joe.
Oh, yeah. And you sang, I'm on fire.
FIRE.
And everybody would have thought this guy was actually a CU boy, you know. So my point where I'm going to is, you know, you were a fly boy. Do you understand?
This was 2007, by the way.
You need retention. So you were a fly boy, you know, you were a cool guy, look good. Had the stage appeal.
I still am.
Girls were screaming. Man. You know, I'm getting somewhere. Girls were screaming and everything. But so you had everything that a normal boy that all of us back then that you would do whatever immorality you
wanted
did
to.
And everything, you know. But when you got married, then we now found out, we heard your story of purity that you kept yourself till marriage. You know, I just want us to first start from that route. How did that come across for you? So the street boys' interpretation of that would have been that a fine boy, maybe he didn't have the chest to go and face the girls.
Oh, he didn't have game.
That was the word I was trying to remember. You know, so but what?
Well, first of all, you know, I went to KC.
King's College.
I went to King's College. So the part about games out of it. We get
Game Boy.
Like, you don't go to KC and not have game. At least you get what I mean.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, throughout my time in KC, particularly maybe like SS1, SS2, I mean, we all looked forward to, you know, doing things. You get what I mean? Go to QC or go to VF, or if your level no reach there, you go. No, I can't say because I'll be like I'm dissing other schools. So I did I did not do that. But I mean it's for me. I mean it's the mercy of God, because if Toba Filete me at that time, I was looking forward to enjoying the pleasures of life, whether it was time for it or not. But I went for a youth camp. I went to a youth camp. I was forced to go to a youth camp by my mom. My sisters were going to the youth camp. My mom forced me to go with them. So I went there, and it's YDI, Young Disciples International. So it was called Camp Joseph. And the pastor, Pastor George EmmaOMG, is kind of like my foundational pastor, because that's where I gave my life to Christ. I'm a Christian boy, by the way, those who don't know yet. So one of the major pillars of practices of the ministry was called Covenant of Purity, which was like an agreement or covenant you come into between you and God before people, that you'll keep yourself till marriage. I was 15 at the time, and I thought it was really stupid. I thought it was really a daft thing. Like, yo, come on. Say, okay, more look am. Yeah. So I'm 15. Even if I say I marry early, say I dey rush, we are 25.
10 years.
So instead of get 10 years by nothing. No, of course not. Now how? So that was my position. And that was my mindset. And I was like, God forbid, literally. But I was there first day, second day, when people were picking the forms, filling, third day, then the final day of the camp, when the pastor called all the people who had opted in to come out. They all came out to the front, and he asked if anybody still wanted to join. I'm like, man, and I ain't doing this, because I grew up in a Christian home actually, so I had an idea of what a covenant was. So then he prayed for all of them. Then they were coming back to their seats. And as they're coming back to their seats, the pastor goes, those of you sitting down, tell these people bye-bye to HIV. So I didn't know what happened at that time. In hindsight now, I have an idea. But right at that moment, it was like that statement was like, it be like saying God put him inside his mouth to talk, and God just used that thing, just hypnotize my mind. Because up till now, I still say I really believe that I was hypnotized, because I just started feeling like I have to do this thing. It was that sentence, tell them bye-bye to HIV. I just like, I have to do this thing, I have to do this thing, I have to do this thing. I didn't even hear anything again till the end. So afterwards, I then met my sister, please give me a paper and a pen. She wasn't responding. I was like, I want to do Covenant of Purity. And then she starts, tell me paper before this boy will change his mind. So she gets the paper and the pen, gives me, I fill it, I take it to the pastor, like my Covenant of Purity. And he says, okay, you can go. I said, no, I can't go. I was not there when you prayed for them. And me, I need that prayer more than all those people. So he says, okay, kneel down. So he prays for me. I leave. We leave the camp, we get home. Immediately I get inside the house. Like immediately I get inside the house. But I said that thing lifts. I'm not joking. So I was just like, shit. What did I do? Literally, I kid you not. So when I say like I'm a product of mercy, because I didn't actually actively come to God. I didn't actually surrender my life totally to God until 2 years after that time, which was in 2003. This time I'm talking about was December 2001. I didn't come to God until 2003. Myself intentionally surrender my life was in 2003. So my understanding in hindsight, because I was in SS3 at that time, I had just finished my first term in SS3 in King's College. King's College is situated, the annex campus is situated on Adeyemo Alakija. That's like in the middle of red light districts. So you have Sanusi Fafunwa, which was like the second busiest ashy streets, prostitute streets at that time after Allen Okpebi zone. So after Allen Okpebi, the next street had to be Sanusi Fafunwa at night. I mean, most people don't know because they're not in VI at night. They go to work, then they go back home.
Well, we know.
But
when would they work for radio?
We were, we were students, and by SS2, SS3, you're already flying fence, going out, going to buy Shy. Shy was
Shy?
Tea. Then there was the students called Shy bread and eggs. They were fried.
Me Shy.
Yeah. So when you hear me Shy, it's the person that makes Shy. So, but what we used to call Shy at the time, the real Shy na tea. But what we were calling Shy was bread. You get how they do that thing. They go fry the bread, the egg, then cut the bread, then put the egg inside the bread. They now fry that bread like that, press it so it becomes like really flat. It's like matched up. You want to kill it, buy suya. They fry it. While they are frying the egg, once they pour the egg inside the frying pan, then they put suya. The suya like that with the onions, everything, just pour it into the egg. So egg, the condiments, everything becomes one whole. The suya is inside the egg. One bread. Then now fry it. Your life can never be the same again. So we're already going out at night. Those who had mind can go to Bar Beach, can go to Cranmore Beach. There are no be water that they go see in Ashi. So there were boys that lost it like that, and most of the boys who lost it was around second term, third term. By that time, your mind is really, really audacious. Prefects are your mates. Nobody can stop you. I had spoken with prostitutes when I was 15.
Wow.
I've sat right next to prostitutes and gist on the street, right? But by that time, I don't hook for coverage of periods, so I couldn't do jack, right? So I feel like God knew I was going to come to him, but he had to cage me ahead of that coming so that I don't lose an essence before coming to him, because he knew in advance that he was going to need that testimony for what he wanted to use me for. So
like what I was also going to say, like because based on the kind of ministry he has given you, like now you are a perfect example. So why I brought that up was, like I said, it's kind of like the norm. Say as a guy, everything is going for, you become famous, you become popular. The next thing is supposed to be girls. But now your life story is making us realize that it doesn't actually have to be the norm. Do you understand? Like it's possible because this kind of things would have made more sense for a lady. Like a lady said, "Oh, I kept myself till married," than a guy naturally. But you are living.
When I got married, Bella Niger reached out.
Wow.
And they said they wanted to interview us. And I was like, oh, okay. And what they said was, we have stories of brides who say they kept themselves till marriage. This is the first time we're hearing a groom say he kept himself till marriage, right? And they waited because there was this thread I did on Twitter where there was the particular tweet where I said, I've got 28 years of virginity to pour into one woman. It was very vivid because I used the word pour. And I said 28 years of virginity to pour into one woman. So it blew up. Then I think Bella, they bookmarked it. But the brilliant thing they did was, they didn't reach out then. They waited for me to actually get married.
Wow.
And then say, okay, now we're going to make it about getting married as a groom who kept himself up till marriage. So they did an interview, my wife and I. It's still on their site. If you search Bella Niger Gaze Baba or Gaze or Funto, you find it.
So it makes sense, and you can boldly, vividly tell people, about keeping themselves to marriage, and we're still going to get to all that, And I had a thought. The thought just left.
You go come back.
Yeah. So basically, but you had relationships, yeah.
I had like before my wife.
So the thought I said I had that I wanted to talk about is the fact that, so you understand covenant, but I think beyond that covenant, God just wanted you to prove a point, because we know the complications of covenant, but also it's not like there was
it's not like
there was a force holding you down.
It's not even everybody who were in covenant of purity that kept themselves to marriage. So it means not just that. That was I placed a lot of premium on that. I don't know why, but I committed to it because I was already in it. You know what I mean? So when people ask me how did you keep yourself, I think for me, because by the time I then came to God and I was living for God, when I got into uni, all my friends were my entire close circle were YDI guys. Were YDI guys and girls. All my close friends. So we were how did I used to say it? We were pushing each other onto righteousness. So like the peer pressure I had was a peer pressure of righteousness.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you get? So you couldn't sleep. You couldn't SLIP. You couldn't. You get? Because my life on campus was class, fellowship, YDI, room. I was in CLF. I was in YDI. I didn't miss classes. I was doing my music from school, and I was pretty active with my music. But the way I used to balance my academics was I never missed a class because I understood how I read. I didn't used to read throughout semester. I only read when a test is coming or when exam. All the times I tried this, Jabres in carry at the beginning of semester, it just never worked for me. So I don't read until maybe 4 days or 5 days until a test, maybe 6 or 7 days before an exam. And when I'm reading it,
you know what you read. Me, once I read, I pass, I forget.
once I'm reading, it's like I have a photographic image of when the lecturer was teaching.
Wow. So
it's like I'm reading for the second time, which was why it was very important for me to be in class and take my notes myself. That was how uni was for me. And I remember when immediately I got into OAU, I was in 100 level. There were clubs, ABC, GQ, all these like clubs that organize parties. They can go do parties in Ibadan, Shogbo, Lautech. They used to go all over. My travelership parties, right? So there was this guy who was my sister's friend, my elder sister, who was also in school. My sister told him that, my brother went to KC. So the guy was pitching ABC to me, right? And he was like, you gotta join ABC. So it wasn't pitching club. It wasn't pitching you should join a club. In short form, say I join club.
Based on
join my club, not join another club, not join GQ, not join this. ABC was like the oldest kind of, so they knew that the younger ones would kind of come and pitch. We were flyer, we were cooler, So when he came to me like, I said, I don't. He said, but you're going to be partying. You're going to need to party. This is the best way to. I said, no, I'm not partying. So he was like, no, I don't get. He started told me you went to KC. I said, yeah, I went to KC. He said, you don't party? I said, no, I don't party. And the same me, about a year and a half before, I was desperately looking for parties. I didn't come to God yet at the time.
I feel you.
Then I define party, I don't find. Now when I don't come God, party can't define me.
That's how it works.
So I was like, nah, I'm not. So because of my circle, it was easier, much easier for me. I don't face temptation like that because the girls around me were YDI. The guys around me were YDI. We were all the same mindset. Get what I mean?
So the point I wanted to make from that also, maybe to any young person listening, is the fact that so while you had the covenant, you knew the importance of covenant and everything. It wasn't necessarily that a force was holding you down.
No, be force.
So it's just because the talk is always like, easy, I can't, but at the end of the day, when you look back, when you realize, it's almost as if God even used psychology on you. Obviously, I'm not putting it that way, but just to let you know that it is actually possible to make that decision that just the way you saw it as ridiculous initially when you saw it, but next 10 years I'm not going to touch anybody, but you came all the way before you got married. And as a guy, so for any young, because excuse me, one man will not I no go feel hold myself, but literally you held yourself.
You also have to make like wise decisions. So I remember there was a babe who was actually in YDI, right? And was under COP as well. I was, but we became close to dating. between us ourselves, we told ourselves that we can't date.
The covenant's my break.
Sorry, energy. Because I've kind of like always been a physical touch person. So when you talk about maybe like love language or stuff, I can be touchy, and she was too. So like just between ourselves, we said, just forget. We cannot. If we try it, it's gonna go down. So we decided not to. You get what I mean? Also,
so let's coin this under advice that, based on experience, what you would tell young boys that if to go this route, things that you should do and things not to do. So let's put that as number one, that be smart and be wise.
The most important thing for me is your circle. The most important thing is your circle. I didn't struggle with my decision because I had a circle that was pro that decision.
Okay.
If I was partying and groveling girls' backside, always seeing cleavage and all that stuff. I mean, you get what I mean? It's not they say you dey under covenant of purity. Me say you get hard on. You get what I mean? So I was saying covered up girls. The only place maybe for class and is seldom. Even those who live loud or live wild, they still try and have sense and are coming to class or stuff. Plus, even you kind of just had different cliques in class, so the wild ones, the wild ones. You had all that. So for me, most important thing is your circle. Your circle has to be in line with what you want to achieve or the kind of life that you want to live. You cannot say you want to make a first class and your closest friends are under 2.5 GPA. You have to get out from that circle and join the circle of people who are at least 4 points and above. That's how you know the way to get that kind of thing, right? It's the same way. You can't say you want to keep yourself and then you're frolicking with people, and when you're talking about kasi in Yoruba, they don't value that. Yeah. It's like, so they are mocking you for it or stuff like you can't. It won't work.
Makes sense. So what was your dating life like? How many relationships had you been in? Did you get breakfast? Did you serve people breakfast? Let's first start from that. You remember when they serve people breakfast, right?
Well, so I have one ex.
Wow.
Yeah, I have just one ex, but I have a number of near exes. Like we almost did. So
do you have a lot of W's? That because the letter before W's, but that's W is like wife. So you have like I don't even know. But you have V's. That's brilliant.
But me o ṣe nǹkan kan so ale pe V.
V náà ni torí o ṣe nǹkan kan ló ṣe ibo ani V. Virgin náà ni ẹ.
Okay, well I was thinking another V, but it's fine. It's good.
As you come marry, the spoil when you know spoil, you can't spoil and finish.
No, but I've actually I've been a vocal and quite naughty guy, somewhat. I mean, technically naughty, from time. I mean, so I feel like
I've not actually seen that side of you.
Oh man,
naughty vocal.
Ask them, Isaac Gerald, Henry. So even the guys on my team. Like, so if you ask Ike and Ada, for instance, I don't finish their life. I don't teach them finish, right? So, I mean, I'm a real guy. I keep it real. Yeah. And sometimes going is part of, I'll go. It's also part of, I feel like it's also part of why, I mean, I know I'm not invisible. I'm not immune to falling. So, like I said in emergency, you should look at Bruce Lee. Blood in my body.
You guys need to go and listen to that song actually, Emergency by Gizbab. I think whatever advice you need there, in terms of,
giving yourself
and
brain.
Not falling, it's encapsulated.
So I know that. I mean, one of my mentors told me, See, there's nobody under the right temperature and pressure. Under the right temperature and pressure. And it is also scriptural. Because the Bible says that God will not let us face temptation that is beyond us. What that means is there is temptation that is beyond you. That if you face it, you will fall. So God ensures that
it doesn't balance
your
the
size.
pressure.
It's your size of temptation, the one that you can handle, that comes to you. Any temptation you face, two things. That scripture says, God will not allow us to face any temptation that is beyond us. But in the temptation, He makes a way of escape. Right? So two things. If you fall
now, you know,
for a temptation, two things.
Escape.
It is that you did not take the way of escape that God provided in that situation. Right? Now, way of escape does not always mean you are together in a room.
Now run.
Then the door was not locked, so you could run. No, way of escape can be like David, when it was in the times when kings go to war. But he was at home. That's why he was seeing naked woman taking a bath in her own side. He was not supposed to be home. The mercy God had shown him was God made the temptation that Satan had planned to coincide with the time he was supposed to be at war. So the Bible starts with, at the time kings go to war. He was not supposed to be at home. He was supposed to be at war. He would never have seen Bathsheba taking a bath because he would have been in battle.
This guy is deep.
So because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time, now why in the sea woman with the bath? So some ways of escape are prepared. They are before God has planned it ahead of. So he gets there are some ways of escape that you have already taken and you will never know you took it. Because he won't have even known what he was saved from by being at war, by being where he should be at the right time. But he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's why his eyes were seeing what his eyes shouldn't see. So it's part of what we should pray, as well, for us not to miss our ways of escape, for us to be at the right place at the right time, not be at the wrong place at the wrong time. So you don't go and face the Bobby where your eye not supposed to see.
And also, from what I can pick from this also is, even whenever temptation comes, have it in mind that there's escape to this, that I don't have to fall to this, I can get out of this temptation. And from what I heard from Apostle Arome, that's actually the power of grace. Power of grace gives you the consciousness that you can live above sin.
Yeah.
That you, because what the mentality everybody has is now devil now, so like I don't have power, okay, I could just fall. But when you already know that
grace empowers you, grace is an empowerment.
So somebody I brought here, Pastor Shola, from Celebration Church, he said the way he lives his life is like he lives like he's about to fall the next moment. So he puts precautions in place. Do you understand that he does not even, and that would explain when the Bible says, "Take heed, let he that thinketh is standeth, take heed lest he falls," and everything.
I mean, so just that consciousness that you can fall is also quite protective.
So you just even
so you are cautious. So you are cautious.
So,
right, so you're saying like relationships, yeah? From. No, I'm not trying to say. I mean, like I said, me at the young, I don't know. So yeah, I had a couple of near exes. So I mean, in school, it got to a point people used to think there's something they used to call that I was
like that you were a player or something.
No, it was not player. Player, we say you date. That one they used to call it canopy ministry in Ife. That's what they used to call it. Where you are not there, but you are hovering over the person and not allowing anybody come there. There was a way they used to, and I didn't like it because it wasn't like I was trying to do that. It was just
that means the girls were being probably cautious. More invested each time.
Not each time. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I'm a bad guy. But I was invested as well. Of course, I'm not mentioning any names, but I mean, maybe like 3, or 4.
So if you were to based on that experience, if you were to advise, like say your daughter grows up and you're telling her about guys that she should date or not, based on that, what would you advise based on decisions, men that are decisive, like when a man knows what he wants? Do you get where I'm trying to go? Like,
I mean, I knew what I want,
No, you don't understand. I'm not saying you didn't know what you want. So basically, okay, what the point I'm trying to get to is you see a lot of ladies, and they are still there that, okay, could he define her, but I'm still waiting and everything. And I in my own head, I would want to believe, because we are still going to get there. For instance, if there was a funto in any of those mix, the story would have been different. Do you understand? There would not have been a hovering, because I'm still going to get to funto's story. Like when you saw when you just saw your future, where you were going, then you laid your tent and you pitched where you do you understand what I'm trying to say?
You know, this is funny, yeah, but I might not have been married funto
if you met her at that time.
If I didn't have the relationship I had before.
Oh yeah,
meeting her.
Do you want to do? Let's. We should
just go there. So you know, and everything is kind of like connected, because you know those times when I didn't really eventually date the person, I was not absolutely sure. I was still let's be sure, because my mindset, I didn't want to have an ex. At the time, I had this dream that the first person that get married, right? Which made me very cautious. So I had 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I met the person I dated. She was in 100 level, I was in 400 level. She just had this homely, chill, amazing girl. Amazing. She's a woman now. Amazing. Right? And we actually dated for about 3.5 years. So now, see that relationship, what I learned was because she was young and she really loved me. So she took a lot of my excesses. By excesses I mean stuff like not being caring enough, or anger, or my faults. So there were times where I feel, in hindsight, with wisdom, I should have been confronted, and she wouldn't do that because love, and then she doesn't want to lose the relationship, right? And so that went on till we eventually broke up. Now, when we broke up, months later, I started dating Funto, and it was a culture shock for me, because any small thing, confrontation.
Young lady.
It was back to back. Our initial, we had so much quanta, and it was sandpaper rubbing against, because I have strong head, she has strong head. So we're
strong head, yeah, show, but don't show.
No, go and say strong head for me.
For the one,
is exclusive. It's an exclusive.
Man.
Oh, why do I think you're going to just cut these parts? That's going to be like your PR clip. I don't know already.
Was this the one I went over? I think there's another. Okay. Oh my God. So we had the good laugh before the lights went off, and I just wanted to take us back there. So he said something like he and his wife were stubborn, and I was like, his own stubbornness was obvious, but his wife's wasn't, and he was like, the wife's the one is not for the world, please customize to his. And it makes a lot of sense, because I now told him that there's no way, if you came to complain to us that my wife will say no, she didn't do it, it has to be you.
So when I dated my ex, and when we broke up, I felt bad, but I felt some sense of irresponsibility as a child of God, because I felt like, as a guy, you should be certain before you approach a girl a lady, right? And you approached this girl, this lady, and you were the one who asked her out. So if now you're saying,
so you're the one that ended it.
oh yeah,
Wow, we'll get to that. So yeah.
so if now you're saying, nah, right? So it felt a tad bit irresponsible. Like, so
you just wasted
why
our time.
were you? Why did you? If you were not, you should be certain, right? Now, what that did for me was it made me decide. It made me first realize that I am not enough. Like, I cannot trust myself enough. I needed something beyond myself to be certain before approaching anybody again. Because for me, I was like, if you said, nah, you, and you approached, and years down the line, you're like, nah, then it means, say, now that you now say, is this person, it means, oh, Ali, hold on to this,
You're
your
not a good vetting agency for yourself.
You are not a good vetting agency for yourself. So I needed something stronger than myself, right? Which was why I took out time. I mean, you can check different things that myself and my wife have shared about how we waited a year. I told her, man, I'm not doing this relationship thing. I need to go and find God. Seek the face of the Lord and be sure.
First,
stuff like that.
Lady say you like him, you can't say, but wait, I'm not in a relationship.
No, it's not like I approached my wife and told her I liked her. Both of us knew we liked ourselves.
Come on.
Right? It was clear, right? But so when we then talked, I mean, it was the last day of 2012. It was December 31, 2012. You know, and I was like, so she thought the conversation was leading to where we're dating. I was like, no, I can't do this, man. I don't trust myself. You know, I like you. I know that I like you, and I know that I want you, but I've liked someone before. And eventually I was no longer like certain, so I cannot trust this likeness alone to embark on a relationship. We're not talking, I even need space. I need us to. So we got off BBM that time. Yeah, so I said I need a year off, man. So eventually it was 7 months.
But were you not even scared of something like
of
what if I come
her
back and she's not available again?
It's also possible for me to, after that time, saying it's not you. And I let her know that. So I'm not telling you to wait.
Wow.
You don't have to wait. Don't wait. She told me she was going to wait. She decided to wait. She can tell you why. If you ever have her on your show, yeah. So it was sometime around maybe like May, June, July-ish that I became certain. So I had my scripture. So I had my what I could hold on to in the word.
So what if we can just go to what happened within those 7 months? What practices did you involve yourself in? Where did you get your?
That was when I started. There was one vigil I started attending. Those who know it know it. He's called Pastor Ayo.
Wow.
Ayo Tuyalo. Like I plugged myself into so many things because this was like a month or 2 of weeks post breakup. So I was not even in a good emotional state. First of all. So it was first of all, it was only a good time to enter a relationship. And I was like, I really needed to find God.
So you sincerely actually sought the face of God?
Oh yeah, I did. Oh yes, I did. By this time, this is 2012. I'd been born again. When I say born again, I mean I'm not talking about plenty altar calls I've come out in my life from when I was young watching Mount Zion. You can't watch the good and faithful the unprofitable servants and not give your life to Christ. You can't. They're not born you were to watch the beginning of the end and not say you are giving your life to Christ.
Every single time you watch
you will give.
Jesus.
And I grew up in Ile-Ife, which is where they kind of like really started before they moved to Ibadan. So I'm a woman Zion on stage live. So imagine you're seeing those their devil characters. You're seeing it's not screen live like this on stage. Why Jadeni man? Oh, better. You know. So, but like when I actually really yielded my entire life to Christ, it wasn't just me accepting him as my savior, as accepted him as my Lord, which was in 2003. So now I had a practical walk with God for 9 years, speaking in tongues, praying. I had heard God on a couple other topics. It wasn't no be marriage you go use test your hearing of God. You suppose don't dey hear God. You know what I mean? So yeah, I sought God's face, like really sought God, because I really couldn't trust myself.
So, and that explains why you said if that X had not happened, you probably wouldn't have been able to marry.
Yes, because when we then started dating, my wife and I, we had it. Because it was, like I said, it was a culture shock for me. My ex to stress me like this. Why was all this stress? You know, but because I already had, in a sense, based on my own mindset, I already had a stain of a failed relationship in a way. So I put in more effort to making this work. Right? So and I also, I sat with my I can't forget my sister. I was cutting my sister's family. I was leaving my sister's family in Agege, my fourth sister. So I was in my sister's house. So there was one day.
How many sisters you get?
6. I'm the youngest. So I remember we actually broke up.
Wow.
Yeah, Funto and I broke up. We broke up in the morning, then she sent the mail in the evening.
Mail. So Funto has always been.
No, Funto, I have bookmarked mails. Funto sends me mail as husband and wife.
Are you serious?
I kid you not. She sends me
she's
email.
She's a real CEO.
Funto sends me email. Like, because sometimes Funto expresses herself best in writing. Like my wife expresses herself best in writing. So if she's pouring out her heart in joy, it is, if you really want to capture the weight of that emotion, she'll do it in writing. If she wants to pour out her heart in anger, my guy, I first have palpitations like Kinimo Shiva. Kinimo to Shiva. So you
women
know,
always just always smile. Fear them, fear them.
So she sent a mail to say, it was a very touching mail, and like it showed that I was really valued. Because like,
and if I will pause you there, no vex, I'm still going to bring Funto, but I think this is also a lesson for ladies, because I know from her perspective, she probably had heard God, she probably had seen, so she's been intentional, because it's not a normal lady thing.
You can't wait. Listen, you can't wait for a guy who says, "I'm going to, seek God's face for a whole year."
If you're not sure,
please don't wait. You don't need to. I can't waste your time. Just when I'm done, if you are available and it's you, I literally let her know that if I go and it's not you, even if you wait, I'm not saying you wait too. I was that vulnerable and I was that sincere. Like, I was sincere to myself and broken enough to be willing for it not to be her. I will have accepted it, But this was in my own understanding. You might have another process. You might have how you did, but this was the best of my knowledge at the time. And
the point I'm trying to make is, for instance, this fight that you said she sent an email in the evening and everything, it takes intentionality. Do you understand?
Yeah,
A lot
yeah.
of girls will be like, if you know, follow me talk. Do you understand? And in continue, you go daru from there.
Right.
Not saying that the reaching out is both
So
ways.
when I was in the room, my sister was in the sitting room. I came out and I'm like, I had to break up. I need a place. I need to find a place. I'm plugging myself with my music. I was writing. My sister was like, because I told her about my ex and the fact that we never fought. Like myself and my ex never fought.
Wow.
3.5 years, or about at least 3 years. We never fought. And I had points of foolishness that deserved fighting.
So this one we no can still near there, yes.
So Moroti, my sister said it was in Yoruba. Mo mọ̀ pé ètò ṣe tẹ́lẹ̀ yẹn tẹ́ ẹ̀ ṣe jà yẹn kò dáa ó yẹ kéèyàn jà but ètò dẹ̀ tún wá sí yẹn dẹ̀ tún ti wá ń jà jù like literally, which was like, yeah, it's not good that your previous relationship you guys never fought. That's not safe because you're going to get into marriage and then it will be an issue because by that time almost you now don't know how to handle disagreements and conflict, right?
Yeah.
But this one now, she will say, okay, you should have fights where you have to say this one, oh, that is now. But
I get those fights were the formation,
Oh, they were. I mean, we had because we're both strong individuals. We're actually both quite strong individuals. So we had to find our rhythm. We had to find our model. We had to find our system. And we had to find how we will work together. It's not, we don't have a common marriage. By common, I don't mean common. I mean, our marriage is very, very unique.
And I think this even kind of answers the next question I'm going to ask, which I'm still going to ask because I know you still have things to say. Because this really definitely also did a major thing in forming you to be the man you are, which I respect. I respect a lot of things about you. And this next question is one of the things I respect about you, which I believe that this formation, that X was important and this fight was important to form you to be. So the thing about you that I want to say is you've been, thank God things are getting softer and everything, but you've been a star for a while. Do you understand? Even back then in the city, a lot of people knew. So you kind of had that, even if the money was not there yet, but you had that, thing. And those things come with ego, especially with men. Do you understand? But one main thing about you that maybe a lot of people don't know is even with all your levels of success, you always put your goals, your success or whatever on an altar of sacrifice to serve your wife, if I'll put it that way. Do you understand? The way you've been supportive of your wife's brand, the way you've been supportive of your wife's success, the way you've been pushing your wife. Do you understand? Because the natural thing for men, especially also men that have they have like strong
personalities or brands,
strong brands, strong individualities, strong and artists the way you are, it's supposed to be like you at the forefront and everything, but you intentionally push your wife. And in fact, I remember one interview you did when you just got married, and maybe I read it in paper, I can't remember, but you mentioned that your wife was earning more than you. Do you understand? You said it that these are things that men, even wives, we agree with men. Do you understand? But you've always been that. Somebody even commented on your video recently that they so respect you so much that despite all the hits and everything, like they saw you follow your wife to one of the places she went to have a speech. You were behind taking care of the children and everything. And this is what you even do times when she travels, you be a stay-at-home dad. Do you understand? And this is not a norm with somebody that is a star and that is doing well. Do you understand? So, what are the things that that a lot of men do not know? How did you get to be that kind of person? Is it the way you were built, or did you have to have a sit down and everything? Because trust me, and I also believe that is part of why God brought you guys together and everything, because those things like you said something about Funto that she expresses herself, more with writing. Funto was a very shy person in school. And Funto now, the way she speaks, and God knows that speaking is going to be part of her brand. Where Funto has gotten to is by the grace of God and a lot of support with, your push and everything, which is not normal, if I will put it that way. So, kilo sop.
Well, so there are details.
Yeah.
But on top, kí màmá iṣẹ́ torí mo dára tàbí torí mo mọ àdúrà gbà. Àánú ni mo rí gbà o.
Chai! We have to stop here today. No vex. Please don't be angry. But don't worry, you can catch the concluding part next week. Say, oh my God.